baby, listen to the speaker. No matter what, just say the word. I'm loving all I see.
Pop, Perswayable. What's going on, everybody? This is my initial analysis of the Feaster. Look at that wooden thing on his back. I mean, you just gotta ask yourself, what's the purpose of carrying that? I feel bad for him, but I feel like he's kind of boasting. Like, you gotta be pretty jacked in order to carry this big wooden circle thing on your back like it's no big deal. He's like that dude that goes to the gym that wears like really, really tight clothing, and he's constantly looking at himself, and he knows what he's doing. He's boasting. Anyways, so here's my initial analysis for those who are too lazy to watch the entire thing. What I'll tell you is that he is a snowball hunter. In the beginning, he is super easy to kite, and if you let him snowball, he is super deadly. So let's get right to it. So we have this coordinator. Actually, I think that's a gardener who's really, able to put distance between her and I. And this is one of the biggest problems. Unlike Geisha or the Clown, where I have a gap closer with either one of them, with him, you really have none. So really, Feaster doesn't have a gap closer, so it kind of relies on bad characters in order to snowball in the beginning, or people making mistakes. So I'm going to be able to hit her first right here. That's technically your gap closer, and trust me, it doesn't always work. So that's me using Blink, going through a wall, and making sure that I can finish her off. I do recommend using Blink. You need to compensate for that inability to really be a gap closer early on. So anyways, so here we are. This is a coordinator that stuns me. What a jerk. She just comes over here and shoots me with a flare gun. I didn't even give her permission to touch me. I feel violated. Can we report her? Report the coordinator. So anyways, so this is me doing again, trying to get that gap closer, manually putting that down and then having it swing. And it's not the easiest skill to get down, and that's why I don't think he's going to replace the Clown or the Geisha. It's very situational. And so this is me right here, just kind of moving around, chucking along in the beginning. That came up by itself, and I was able to get an early hit on him. So it's early game. I can't put the tentacles down. I got to use the tentacles. So the biggest thing with Mr. Calamari here is that you have to rely on somewhat of characters not moving so you can get that sort of tentacle hit on them. But if they're able to put distance on you, so watch this. He's going to camp here. Big mistake. You got to be careful. So a lot of people are saying, how do you kite him? Well, you keep moving. Don't stay in the same spot, especially late game. And I'm going to show you why, particularly in late game, he is a monster. So the key to beating him is beating him in the beginning. Do not allow him to snowball. It's really bad. So like I said, that's me getting rid of the flare gun and dodging it. So they're going to have a few people rescue. You got to be careful with this method, guys, because you're now no longer decoding. But remember, if you can get that tentacle down, watch this. I'm going to put it there. I know he's going to run in there. I'm going to use it, and boom, knock him down. That's one of the good things about him. You have to anticipate. There's a lot of anticipation with him. But like I said, I mean, even though you can do things like these, it's still very difficult at times. I still think that the Joker and the Geisha are going to be way better. He's more of a snowball character, like I said. And I'm going to show you some footage as to why he's a snowball character. And that relies kind of on survivors making mistakes or bad survivors in early game. You face top tier survivors, they're going to kite the heck out of you. I'm going to release footage later on, not in this video, of me kiting a top 15 player with Gardener for 5 ciphers. So now that's another cool thing about the tentacle, is you can use it to block doors like I just did. But you got to really practice that. And like I said, there's so technical precision with this character that it's almost not really worth it sometimes. And he's a snowball character, right? So now at least I have some weapons, but I normally wouldn't have these if I was facing kiters who didn't let me get them in early game. And you'll see what I mean by the snowball effect. Now, if you look at my presence, you can see that it's finally full. So now I can put a curse mark on somebody. This makes saving somebody almost virtually impossible against the whatever his name is, wooden guy. I'm not editing this. Feaster. So watch this. I'm gonna put this tentacle up, and I know that somebody's coming. I have that ear mark in the upper left corner. That means somebody's within 32 meters, right? And I'm going to put the curse mark on it, which means that the tentacles will automatically hit her, right? So watch this carefully. I put the curse mark on her, right? I'm gonna put one down, and she's gonna get double hit. Or rather, she's gonna get hit once, and then I only need to finish her. So that's how you're supposed to use him. Once you unlock that curse mark, all of the tentacles will attack randomly. You don't have to manually control it. And that is when he is super dangerous. But it requires 2,500 points on the present. So that requires like four hits and plus some rocket cheers. So watch this. So I'm going to use the curse mark. The curse mark is on her. And then what we're going to do is we're going to throw our second skill down, and it's going to hit her automatically, right? So like I said, he has incredible worth to him, but it's all end game, and it's all on the presumption that you have a good early game. But the problem is that he doesn't have the skills necessary to have a really strong early game like hunters such as Geisha and Clown. So watch, I put the curse mark on him, right? So that's how you can counter him, is by moving. But watch this. I put my second tentacle down. It automatically hits him. But that's because my presence is fully maxed out, right? This doesn't happen when you unlock your second skill. You have to have your presence fully locked out or maxed out. And that requires a lot of points and a lot of mistakes or a lot of inability to kite. So watch this. I'm going to use the curse mark on her again, right? So she has full health. I'm going to throw the second tentacle down. It's going to automatically hit her. Another one pops up and it automatically hits her. But like I said, when you're facing experienced users, especially good kiters, it's going to be very difficult early game. And that's why I do not consider him an S tier hunter. And I don't think we're going to really see him in the high tiers too much. I think we'll see him in the beginning while people experiment. But he's very easy to kite. His early game is bad, and that's why he absolutely needs blink. He needs blink early game. It's the only way you're going to be able to really utilize him, especially against good kiters. So, in conclusion, I mean, we're going to have more gameplay, but really, he is a great hunter mid and late game if he has his presence unlocked. See how my presence is not unlocked? So I can't put that curse mark on him, where the tentacles would automatically hit him. So he definitely doesn't have any gap closing. That's me using blink. You see why you need it? And now this is going to hit her. That's me kind of controlling it right there because I couldn't get the curse mark on her. But like I said, he's definitely great mid game, late game. He can easily kill anyone that's really trying to go for the rescue once he puts the curse mark on you and he gets an early hit on you. Makes coordinator's job difficult, but against top tier survivors, it's going to be difficult. So watch this. I put the curse mark on her, right? And it hits her once. You see that tentacle out there? It randomly spawns, right? So I'm going to move around, and this is what's funny, is that tentacle is going to kill her without me doing anything. So I'm including this in the footage because it's funny, right? Watch, she's going to go down, and she got killed by the tentacle without me doing really anything. And like I said, he is a beast when he unlocks everything with his presence. But like I said, I mean, technically so is the gamekeeper if you can get the one-hit hook. But the thing is that although the tentacles are way easier than the gamekeeper, to rely on that sort of thing when you have survivors who don't know how to counter you or don't know how to kite, it's just you're relying on other people being bad, kind of. So watch this. So you see how that one tentacle is there? There's somebody around me, and I can't really find them. Now, the good thing about the tentacles is it can show you somebody's location, right? So I'm just kind of roaming around, moving around. I don't really feel too much pressure. I got that ear mark in the upper left corner, so I know somebody's within 32 meters. Now, remember last time we were over there was only one tentacle? So now we're going to realize that there's two. And I'm going to look at that and be like, why the hell is there two? Oh, because somebody's minimized. And that's why. So we're just going to hit him right there. And actually, it blocks him in for a little bit, and it's an easy second kill. So the tentacles can show you where people are spawning, especially if they're camping. And that was him using the Explorer's minimized book. So, again, as I'm trying to beat this information into you guys, he's really good once you can unlock your full presence. He has range to his normal attack. Watch this. The forward actually thinks that I'm too far away, and I'm not, and I terror shocked him with a hit. But look at this. I'm about to put him on the rocket chair, and I still don't have full presence. Look at him the top right. And that is really what makes this hunter good, is when you can unlock that full presence, but it takes a lot of hits, right? Because when you have the full presence, that's when you can put the blue marker on them, and the tentacles will automatically attack them for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, depending on if you can hit them with the gaze. So That's why I don't really like him too much. I think he's super fun, and I'm gonna totally keep playing him. But he's definitely not a gap closer like Joker. He's definitely not a gap closer like Geisha. You can use his tentacles right now. Watch, I'm gonna put it behind him. See how he was going backwards, and he's like, "Oh damn, I'm gonna get hit." And that's why I put it behind him so I could kind of influence the way his movements were. So you can use that. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some pros with him. But like I said, he's only good if you have that snowball effect. And a snowball effect relies on other survivors making mistakes or other survivors not knowing routes. So in high tier matches, that's not going to really occur. So that was me putting a curse mark on her, and I also hit her once. So I put, like I just said, so now she has like a black thing around her body, and these tentacles are going to try to randomly hit her. And she's doing the right thing. She's moving around. Which makes it more difficult. But watch, she's going to run right towards a tentacle. I actually put the mark on her again, and I just walk around. I know she's going to get hit by that. She's charging it straight forward, and then she went down. So like I said, and I keep kind of beating this into you guys. I'm not beating you guys. This is how you actually counter him. I'll get back to that other point in a second. Is that you keep moving, right? So she's moving, and I'm missing all of these, right? Which is why the tentacles aren't always reliable. And in a game where every second counts, you really need to get this survivor down. And so the tentacles are not always accurate. They're not always doing what I want them to do. So moving is the best way to really try to counter him. And this doctor messes up because I think she stops up here. Does she stop? She stops. And it allows the tentacle to spawn and hit her. So you need to be very careful with stopping. You need to keep moving around when you're trying to kite him. And that's somewhat a little different because there's some hunters where you want to be patient like that, like the Joker or the Geisha, right? Because you sometimes put more distance means that they can catch up to you if you're in the open. But he doesn't have a gap closer. He has no gap closer whatsoever. So maintaining that distance and constantly moving around is really good against him. All in all, I think he's super fun. He relies too much on maximum presence. He's very difficult to use in the early game. He's somewhat slow. I'm not going to recommend him for rank match. When you play top kiters, top survivors who really are good at tight kiting, you can check the YouTube video out on that. He's going to be very difficult to get that first kill against top tier survivors like Yo Mama and Legacy and all of those sorts of players. They're not going to allow you to snowball. So he relies on that snowball effect. And generally speaking, you want a hunter to overcome the survivor skills rather than choosing a hunter that relies on survivors making bad choices. So in the end, I think he's super fun. I just do not think that he's going to be a top-tier hunter, and I think that a lot of people are just struggling right now because they haven't gotten into the rhythm of facing him. We went through this when Geisha was released as well, guys. So continue practicing. Remember, with him, continue moving. Don't let the tentacles be able to get you, and really kite early game hard. Don't let him snowball. He can get two people on the rocket chair and still not have max presence, so it's your obligation to not allow him to get max presence. That's it. Once he doesn't have max presence, he's an easy game every time. So this is the part where I tell you guys to like and subscribe my YouTube channel, but I'm not going to do that. If you like it, then you can subscribe to it, and if you think my content's garbage, then absolutely don't subscribe to it. However, I would like to thank you for your time. Your time is important. It's the one thing that I can never repay back, because once you spend your time, you don't get it back, and I appreciate you spending a little bit of it with me today. Hope I was able to answer all your questions. Feel free, guys, to post any comments or any questions. I'll try to get to them. And I will be switching to Twitch soon. Check me out, Perswayable. Have a good one, guys.